me tell you about the facts of life. Sing it with me.
Take the good, take the bad, take them both. There you have the facts of life. The facts of life. Take the good, take the bad.
Back to another episode of Facts of Life. I am your host, Zakia, and these are the facts of my life. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, and leave a review. Let me know what you think. This podcast is available to be streamed on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and the full visuals of the podcast will be up on our YouTube channel. All right, so let's just get into living my best life. It's been a while since we last talked. Do you want to go first?
Girl,
I know it hasn't been, going your way like what you want.
So it's just that I feel like this happens every time I'm about to do something that I really want to do. There will be some incident or like some wild shit that pops off that makes me go, well, damn. So my computer broke a couple weeks ago and I got this laptop, which is on my vision board I'm looking at now. So I'm not so mad at it, but it's new. So that means I now have to learn to navigate it.
Right.
But in this experience, I feel like I just came up with the answer to some shadow work that I was doing today, which was kind of along the lines of like, why do I stop myself from certain things? And then I was like, well, I don't really like new shit. And I was just here saying that. And I was like, maybe that's it. Maybe the newness of this stuff, because I'm a Taurus, as you can see by my trusty coffee mug. I don't like change and it's hard to navigate for me. So that could be it. So like, even though it's a tough situation and I'm like, I really don't enjoy this, it does bring me clarity in some situations.
Right.
So I'm all right. I mean, just over here getting my house together. So like I was cooking a little bit ago. I planted some herbs. I'm looking at, revamping my patio. I put my little office together downstairs because I decided I didn't want to work here in my room. But like podcasting and stuff is fine because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
But like creative work and like making stuff like I'm going to do downstairs at the desk. So I got that together. And it's just been different. Like, it's just, I've been a workaholic for so long. I've been so defined by like overworking myself and like really like being like, oh, I'm so tired from work. Like, I don't have any of that. So I'm like redefining myself again. Yeah. But I will say that some serious neck pain that I had for like probably 8 months went away. So
that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
What about you?
How I'm living congratulations on your new chapter. I want to say that.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you got a new laptop and you're creating space so that, you can separate work and fun. Well, sometimes creative work is fun, but sometimes, you got logistics and business behind it. So,
girl, it'd be the part where somebody else is involved in it and they have all their ideas, but ain't finna make nothing. So, yeah,
for sure. So I'm glad that you're working that out. And I'm super proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
So how I'm living my best life is, so the beginning of the month, I decided that I wanted to do like 30-day meditation, guided meditation, because I follow this young lady on YouTube, Ariana Elizabeth, and she does yoga. So she's pretty much like my go-to person for yoga, because like I can do, sequences on my own and stuff, because I started taking my yoga teacher training, but I haven't completed it yet. That's another thing.
Oh my God, are you really?
Yeah, I took a pause so that I can focus on marketing. But my goal is to finish before the end of the year because like I'm halfway through the training. So,
Yeah.
you know, once I can get over this marketing hump, then I will get back into my yoga teacher. Um, but for the meantime, I do follow this young lady on YouTube, and so she has like different like challenges, and like she had guided meditations, and I really like her. So I started the 30-day meditation, and I decided that I wanted to be intentional about my journaling this month. Well, the month is pretty much over. March is done. Happy spring. Happy.
Mhm.
But I wanted to be intentional about journaling this month. So I decided to do prompted journaling for 30 days. And I also went at the beginning of March, I went to a journaling event. This is my first time ever going to something like this, which was led by Raven Alexis out here in Houston. So it was really nice. Like we had a Reiki session, there was some meditation, we did some prompted journaling, and I feel like that just kind of like helped set off the rest of the month. And then I got a temp job, so I'm working again, which it's been cool. It's not super hard work. I get to bring my laptop to work and I still get to work on my marketing stuff. So it's like a win-win for me for right now. Like I get to make some money
Right.
while still doing things that I want to do. So yeah, that's how I'm living my best life. And it's funny because like after that whole meditation thing, like I went to our Little Red One shop. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I met a new friend. So I co-hosted a speed dating event in February. And I met a young lady. She's from New York City. And we went out to get lunch together. And then I brought her to our Little Red One shop. And, cause she's into spirituality and astrology and things, like we have similar interests. So I brought her to the shop. And then it's funny because like she's in tech and we started talking about my transitioning into marketing and like the whole diversity thing and, in the workplace and blah, blah, blah. And so then at the shop, she picked up a candle that said job on it. So I was like, let me just grab one. And so like as soon as I grabbed one and I lit it, I wrote my petition or whatever, that's when I got the call to do the job. And it's funny because like I also cut this guy off that I was briefly dating. And as soon as I cut him off, I lit that candle, I got the job. I got a chance
Yeah.
to make money. It was just so funny because I was really like holding on and like internalizing, a lot of that experience with him because it was like he was pressuring me to like be in a relationship with him. I'm like, bro, I can't
Mm.
that way. And, like our interaction is only based off of lust. It's not based off of anything real because you're rushing for something that we don't even know if we're gonna get there yet, like just chill. So yeah, it's just funny how when you cut niggas out of your life, you start making money. But anyway.
Girl. Girl.
I promise you, every time I cut a man off, that is when I start making money and I start making like more money like than I had when I was talking to them.
Yeah. I feel like there is a correlation to it because I think what we tend to do is like we focus so much of our energy to them, you know what I mean, and onto the relationship and worry about how it's going to go and whether or not it's going to progress. And I know so many women who like as soon as they start dating somebody, they're already at the finish line. Like I used to be one of those people where I'd be like, oh my God, I like you. We're going to get married. Ah. And there's so much energy going to that. Like if you just put that back into yourself, like you could do so much more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where I'm at right now too. It's like,
Right.
like I recently had an ex come back, which they always tend to do. But it was kind of like, what? And he sort of was like, wanted to marry me. And I was like, nah, bro. Like when I wanted to marry you, you were totally disinterested in that and acted a wild fool over the course of the relationship. So, no.
Yeah, it's no going back. I don't know what it is. Like, men are just, they're just really interesting. And it's funny because, like, I started therapy. I shouldn't say I started therapy. I got a new therapist.
Oh, you did?
My therapist is making a transition to like pretty much run her practice full time. So she doesn't really want to see clients like that. Or I don't know if she's cutting all her clients off, but so I saw my new therapist yesterday, and like that's one of the things we talked about was like, because I was like, yeah, like I don't know if I'm in a place to really be dating because like I want to, focus on my career or whatever. And she was like, you can have both and whatever. A lot of women say that, you can have both. And it's like, I'm not saying that you can't, but like at the same time, like I'm also in a space where it's like, if we're not feeding each other, like I can't give my energy to you. Like if I don't feel like I'm benefiting from this experience, like I just can't continue to, because I know the type of energy and effort I'm going to put forth in relationships because I do it with my friends. You know what I mean? Like not, I be OD, like I'll talk to my friends, whatever. But it's like I know the type of friend I am, and like I know what I can give in relationships. So it's like if I feel like this is not serving me, then I'm not gonna serve it. Period. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And that's how I'm living my best life. Just being intentional. Like that's all to sum it all up is just being intentional with my time. Adding in more because like I already have a morning routine, but like adding in a nighttime routine.
Yeah.
Because like I notice the difference when I have a nighttime routine versus when I just hop into bed. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I'm living my best life.
I think it is just synchronicity that you said that because I was just telling somebody that my morning routine changed. And so I need to go back to what I know was the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to put together a good night routine, which I have been kind of doing. Some cool stuff at night, like, with my cards and lighting a candle and stuff like that. But I think that's like so important because it's just how you spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because your routines aren't about anyone else. Like, a lot of mine are about my kids. And I thought about it today and I was like, everything that I plan or do, even in regards to my own healing, has been in the service of somebody else almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm not putting myself first in a lot of places, and that's not okay.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. And I'm glad that, you're recognizing that. And, because of this new chapter of your life, I'm sure that you'll have more time to like be intentional with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't have to be ripping and running and going, oh, let me hurry up and do this and this and that. Like I can be really specific with my schedule and I know where I can put me at.
Right.
Because I mean, other people aren't going to consider you, not just off the top. Like you have to be doing that work.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's why, it's definitely important to have the routines in place because I notice when I don't do my routine, I could tell the difference in my day. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have one, do what works for you. You know, I encourage everybody to like have a routine. Like you don't got to do what I do or what Shiva does, but just do what works. What works for you. I
Girl, I be getting excited.
so my bad.
No, I be getting excited when people call me Sheba. I'm like, oh my God, you remember. But I
Yeah.
will say this about our morning routine. Like for the longest time, it was hard for me to do one because I was like, well, what do I do? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what to do. So I was like, well, I wanted to ask people, but it was like hard to get a real answer. So when I started looking, I was like, I just need to do what puts me in my right vibration. So of course I started doing too many things,
Mm-hmm.
which it was hard to keep up with that.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, no, I just need to like simplify it. Cause that's just part of me. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna overdo it first
Yeah.
until I'm like, no one can handle this, superwoman. Back up a little bit. So what do you do though in your morning routine?
So I get up super early. Like I get up at like 4:15. And I pray. That's one of the first things I do is pray. Um, give gratitude. And I try to say three things I'm grateful for. Either before the prayer or after the prayer. And then I'll probably lay back down for a little bit. And then I'll really get up at 5 and meditate, get out of bed and meditate. Cause like I notice when I stay in the bed and I meditate, I just fall right back to sleep. So I get out of the bed, I meditate, I go to my mat, meditate. I will, well, what else will I do? Yoga. If I didn't take too long to get out of bed, I will try to pack my lunch or whatever, or make a smoothie or, you know. And then I will journal. I don't really put a time frame on journaling. I just flow wherever my heart and my mind goes. And when I was working from home, I probably would go back to bed for like another hour and then get up and get ready for the day. So yeah, that's what I do in the morning. How about you?
So waking up around 4:30. And then I have a journal that I write in. It's like from Set in Soul, but it's one that you write in the morning and then in the evening.
Okay.
And then I have a psalm that I read. And then I have this other book. This one I say is too much shit. So then I have this other book that has a bunch of really excellent affirmations in it. And then I have this other book that's like called The Psychic Pathway that just has some chakra affirmations in it. And then meditation and writing after meditation. But then I still have to get dressed. So like that's really the most important thing for me is like doing my face and my hair and like talking to myself in my mirror. So like really fuck all that other shit. Because if I don't do me and myself, then I'm totally disconnected from the whole thing. So, and then once I'm done getting ready, I will light a candle and say a blessing for whatever. And then I'm ready to start my day.
Okay. That sounds good. You light a 7-day.
I feel like it takes too long. And then I don't feel like doing it all the time because it's so much stuff. So
yeah.
I do. I light my 7-day candles on Sundays.
Okay.
So I do 7 days every Sunday, depending on what they have. Like it's been so hard unless you go to a shop like our little red one or like another Botanica, because the Target is across the street from my house. And when I started, I was just going to Target. I would pick up green, red, orange, white, yellow, and then I would light those on Sundays. And since the pandemic started, like I cannot get 7-day candles. So I actually thought maybe I'll make some.
That's a good idea. I like that. Do you feel like there's a
because that's such a important part of my routine. And when I can't get my candles, I'm just looking around like, yeah, because I can't get all the good colors that I want.
right, right?
My internet is messing up.
So you don't have any like shops like Our Little Red One near your house, then?
Mm-mm.
Got you.
There are no shops nearby here. The closest Botanica I know of is off of like a little New York M45. My internet is messed right now.
Okay.
I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What is it? What's it
Okay.
with all the herbs? What's the name of that place? Um, I can't think of it right now. Whatever, it'll come to me. Um, but yeah, I was, and as I started like doing this new routine, I was like thinking about how my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, like there were times I would spend the night, and at one point I was living with her, and I'm like, why the hell she get up so damn early? And I think it annoyed me because she would just make mad noise, whatever. But I'm like, why is she up so damn early? And like now I completely get it. She was up doing her routine. Like I don't know what it was. I know she was exercising or trying to. God bless her. But I'm like, why is she up so damn early? And it's like now I'm like, if I get up an hour before work, there's no way I can complete all of these things that I want to do, So it's like I have to get up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. whatever, because one, I take a long time getting dressed. So like I just account for that time too. Like it's gonna take me, even though I'm not doing my makeup or my hair really, like it's gonna take me an hour to get dressed because like that's just who I am as a person. So, I have to make sure that I'm giving myself enough time. And I'm like, am I turning into my grandmother?
Yeah, I hope so. Because my paternal grandmother also had a really amazing routine. And I'm talking about from like the time she got up to the time she went to bed. Everything happened at the same damn time every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But grandma was unfuckwittable.
Right.
Like I never saw her just be like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed or none of that. She was like, oh, I know what time I'm going to eat.
Right.
And I know what time I'm about to watch TV. And I know what day I'm going to the lady spa.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that was like outside of her schedule. And even though it seems, I think I fight against that because I'm like, oh no, it seems so restrictive. Right. But that's really the way that I need to be living my life because it will help me to stay completely organized. I'll never be off my schedule. I'll know my stuff is getting done because as a creative, like what happens? Like you'd be like, oh shit, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. And then what do? Then you're like, oh no, I forgot, blah, blah, blah. Like, why not just organize your life in a way that helps you to avoid self-abuse?
Right. No, that's exactly why I started, the routine because I just don't want to be scrambling or jumbling or, fussling and hustling, and not saying like I don't do that. Some like I will give in and I be all over the place, but it definitely I know if I don't do it, I may curse somebody out, So be grateful that people like me and she have a routine in place so we don't go off the rock.
And that's what it's about.
So what?
I don't know if I even told you about this, but like that was the reason why I started a spiritual journey was because I lost my shit at work.
No.
Like I was under so much pressure. My coworker had died and I was doing a lot. And I was already, and actually it's funny because that was like 2 years ago, like now, about the same time, because Nipsey Hussle had passed, which led me to this like spiritual awakening download thing that I had about, the Black community and how we need to like elevate and like how we're going to get free and all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't have nothing to do with this. Why are you telling me this?
Right.
So it made me feel, like really uneven, because it was like, I've seen this and I'm experiencing this, but this is what I see every day is this reality right here. So I was just like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, but we still need you to do all this work. And one day they were having a retirement party, and I felt probably on some level like jealous of this man, because he was getting to quit the job and he was never going to have to come back there. And I felt trapped in it. And a lot of people were coming in and out of the office, and they were talking loud in the hallway at the party right outside of my office. And I just remember feeling like, okay, it's a tough day, but I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
So I went into the room and I got some food, and I came back out, and I saw on email where these two bitches were being messy. And one of them sent it to me, and she was like, oh, well, we need to figure this out. And I was like, I ain't finna figure out shit. I ain't finna figure out a bitch ass thing, because you two hoes can't even do what the fuck y'all need to do without me. And I just got up and raked all the retirement party food on the floor, into the air, a cup of tea, everything. And I was like, I fucking hate this place. I fucking hate y'all. I fucking quit, and I'm never fucking coming back here. And so I tried to quit, and these hoes begged me every day for like 2 weeks to come back to work.
Wow.
Right. But that speaks to how much work I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I wasn't doing shit and I had acted like that, they'd have been like, oh, fuck that crazy girl.
Yeah.
But because I was doing so much work, they were like, we really can't get anybody else to do that work. And when I quit, my boss was like, well, we're not going to be able to hire anybody. I don't fucking care.
Right.
Y'all not finna kill me.
Yeah.
And like, that was just a decision I had to make for myself, because like, even though I did a lot of work to balance myself and to feel confident and comfortable in the environment and to just make peace with the situation as it was, I also realized that the reason why I was still there was because I just wouldn't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I was a prisoner to it.
Right.
I just wouldn't quit.
Right.
But I mean, I needed all of that to take place, or I wouldn't have been able to figure out what it is that I really wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and to just
I did.
be an overall better individual. But yeah, I lost it in there.
Yeah.
And it was just so much like, it was like all the pressure from, because my coworker died in November, and that was like in May
Mm-hmm.
or late April. And it was just like so much work. And I was in a state of grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if I wasn't going to stand up for myself, they weren't.
Right.
So they didn't.
Absolutely.
They didn't give a damn if I was overwhelmed. I kept saying, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I wasn't demanding to be, given time off or to take space or whatever. So it was a lot, but that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're here. You arrived.
Thank you.
Everything came full circle for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think this is a perfect segue into the topic. So let's get into the facts about passion versus getting paid. Just a funny little thing. Me and Sheba recorded this episode, but life and technology happen. So here we are.
I was about to say, I feel like that's the same topic we had last time, but yeah, this is a re-record. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't use it. So here we are. But yeah, I wanted to discuss this because, I'm at a place in my life where I'm asking myself this question. Like, this is a question that comes up often for me, like freedom versus stability, passion versus getting your bills paid. And why can't it be both? So why do you feel like you can, pursue your passion and get paid at the same time, or it has to be one or the other?
I think you can do it, but I think most people don't do it because, I think a lot of people do it actually,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it takes outside the box thinking, and you really have to be like, not willing to do whatever, but willing to try new things and to be brave.
Yeah.
And that's something that most people don't do, because usually when you make money, it just is like, okay, I just go to work and they pay me.
Right.
I don't have to tap dance on top of the Eiffel Tower to get paid by the corporate sector. But when you're doing something that maybe even just you believe in at the time, it does take some wild behavior, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think like with the whole passion thing, a lot of it, a lot of times, a lot of reasons why people don't, fully pursue it is because of fear, like you just said. And we're dependent on a paycheck. And it's like, I know that I went back to work, but this is to help me to get ahead. Because like, even when I was at home, like, and now that I'm back at work, I'm like, I really do like being home, like, and some people will see it as like, oh, well, you don't have a job or whatever. And it's like, no, like, I like doing my own thing, and I feel like that sometimes threatens other people too, because it's like, oh, I'm over here living my life or whatever. But, I think a lot of it has to do with fear, and I'm guilty of it too, because I struggle with my faith sometimes, and having faith in the Most High and being like, okay, this is okay, this is gonna work. I'm confident that this is gonna, complete or whatever. Like I was having a moment this past weekend. I was spiraling, and
What
not
were you?
like I was just overthinking, like, cause what triggered the overthinking? Part of it, cause Mother Nature was here, so my emotions were already on 10. Like
Oh, girl.
most people, most people,
Mine too. Oh my God.
yeah. Though, I feel like a lot of my friends, they be like, yeah, when I get my period, I be cramping. Like, no, when I get my period, I be spiraling. Like, I get emotional like times 10, and it's gonna come out either I may possibly curse you out or I'm overthinking, or I'm just exhausted. Like, those are like the three things with when I have my period. So yeah, it was a mix of that, a mix of like, I was feeling overwhelmed, like, because of this, going back to work. I had to figure out a new routine, because like now I kind of have to, do things after work. So that pushes a lot of things
Mhm.
back. So it was like, I was feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, all these different things. So I had a moment where I was spiraling, and then it's like, um, and then I'm like, yesterday I felt better, and I'm like, yeah, it's like, I want to continue to pursue my passion, because like, this is what makes me happy. This is what brings me joy. And before this month, I also started listening to The Power of Now, the audiobook.
Okay.
The author, he talks a lot about overthinking. And I was listening to it earlier today, before we got on the podcast. But one of the things that he says in the book is to, you know, um, your spiritual enlightenment is, your salvation, where you get peace and you get freedom, and things like that. And so, how do you feel like you arrive to your spiritual enlightenment and your salvation and your freedom with the whole passion thing?
How do I feel like I got there?
Yeah.
I think it was last March, when the pandemic began. I was really depressed because it was different, new, just like we were talking about when you have set a new routine, you become overwhelmed or whatever. And I realized that I was wanting to help others, but like I needed to help myself first, you know? So I remember sitting in the parking lot at the Half Price Books, which is like my favorite place to be.
I love that store.
Girl. And I do a lot of auto writing. I don't know if you know what that is. Do
Auto
you know what that
writing?
is? Mm-hmm.
Automatic
So
writing?
auto writing is, yeah, automatic writing. It's like when you channel your higher self into writing or on the paper or
Okay.
whatever. Okay. So I was sitting in the parking lot and I was really trying to figure out how to like create this coaching program that I was trying to create. And I read myself for filth in that moment. And she basically said, I say she basically was like, your light is out, bitch. So turn that motherfucker up. And that was when I was like, I don't know how to do that. And that was how I just I was missing just through that, writing process and doing shadow work and spending time with myself and um, healing.
Mhm.
So that's the thing I think about most people is that they get this vision of what they want to do and it coming from a source, a higher self or whatever. But what they don't always realize is that the version of themselves that's going to do the work or be the entrepreneur is on the other side of ego death, you know, the other side of the true healing that allows you to be wild and brave. Because most of what we don't want to do is attached to conditioning from our ego space. No, I don't want to do that because people will say. No, I don't want to do that because I seem like, or no, I don't want to do that because it's stupid. Well, what's making it stupid? Suzanne just posted on Facebook how dumb that was. Like, even if you don't say it, your thought will go to like something like that, you know?
Right.
So I think that's what holds a lot of people from it is because they don't realize that like you actually have to evolve into a different version of yourself to be this liberated individual that's going to conquer your dragon and fulfill your dreams.
Yeah, I agree. Cause like I feel like I'm in that weird space right now too, where it's like I'm coming into more understanding of myself. Can you hear me? I'm coming into like
Yeah.
I'm coming into like more understanding of myself. And was it? No, it wasn't the last episode that we did. But the episode before that, we talked about, not caring so much about what other people think. And like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I'm working through. I will say that, part of the reason, and I will take accountability on this, part of the reason why I feel like I cared so much, especially like when it comes to like my loved ones, is because I share a lot, and it's something that I have to like unlearn because I think I'm just so me and my former best friend, we stopped being friends last May. And
Mm-hmm.
that relationship was like a really significant part of my life. And we she was like the person that I told everything to, and but it was never like I felt judged or anything like that. And I think like, with these new friends that I have, and not saying that they're bad friends, it's like I just have to learn how to not share as much because like we don't have the same understanding when it comes to certain things, you know? And I think that's one of the reasons why I was like feeling so frustrated, especially like after I lost my job too, because it was like, you know, people are projecting their fears and like I got to do a better job. I'm getting better at, you know, verbalizing my boundaries and telling people, you know, I don't want their advice on certain things because like I just don't, you know, like, and I think that's why I was caring so much is because people were giving their opinion and their advice on something that I didn't ask them for. And so like now I'm over here judging myself and hesitating on doing certain things. And now like, you know, I've gotten better at not sharing as much. I beat myself up over the weekend because like I shared way too much with somebody. But anyway.
Did they hold it against you or did you just think they did?
I think that they did. They didn't, but I think that they did only because it was something that I kind of keep talking about and I'm like not making any changes. But anyway, we'll talk about that another day.
Well, that's I mean, and yeah, you know what? You need to book a chart reading so we can look at some of your placements and really see what are the reasoning behind some of your thought processes and how you are so that you can turn it into power instead of being like, oh shit, I fucked up again, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just in that weird space where it's like, I'm coming out of, you know, who I used to be and coming into who I really am. And I think that's why about like really 100% saying, you know what, fuck working.
Yeah.
Because like there's things that I want to do and I'm in a rush to do. But again, that's another story for another day. My next question is, what do you think is more important, money or passion?
So this is this is hard for me, I guess, to decide because I feel my life has been kind of trying to get money or doing what I hate to get paid. And so now I'm in a position where I get to do exactly what I want to do. And so also what I want to do to get paid. But I don't know if you could have the Pattern app. Do you have the Pattern?
I don't think so.
Girl, you need it because even though like I don't follow it as much now because I look at my own chart and I make my own assessment about astrology, but when you first get on it, it will help you so much to understand yourself and be like, oh, this is on purpose. Or, oh, I'm not crazy. This is like an intentional thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So, see, I can't even remember what I was saying. What do you want? What was that? What were you asking me about? About money. Oh, okay. So on the Pattern, it said that even though it may be hard for me, it's part of my mission to find a career that serves the collective, but is not traditional. So something creative or something like intuitive, like what I do. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm absolutely doing the right thing by seeking to change my trajectory because this is with intention. My soul wanted this work, you know? So I think money is important, of course, because we live by it here. But I think it's important for you to be passionate about what you do to make money because otherwise then you're just like to the dollar.
Yeah.
And that hurts. And it keeps you lacking. So you can't manifest anything.
Right. No, I agree. Because I have become a slave to the dollar too. And like I'm learning that, you know, money is a tool. Before we started recording, I was texting my friend Senna, and we were watching Money Heist during the quarantine last year on Netflix party, right? And sorry if you haven't watched the show, but I'm gonna spoil it for you. So just fast forward this through this part of the podcast. So in Money Heist, they go, this group of robbers, criminals, whatever you want to call them. I don't even feel like they're criminals. They're just people trying to get some money. But anyway,
Okay.
in the show, they go to rob this, I think it's like a federal bank in Spain or something, right? And so the guy that is the mastermind behind the whole operation of them robbing or whatever, breaking into this federal bank or whatever, he has this whole plan of how, they're going to break in or whatever, everything. And then one part of the show, they talk about, what do they talk about? There's a part of the show where they will, they're like holding up the guy that makes the money. And I'm just like, so you mean to tell me that money is really not real? It's something that's made up, because when he was telling them to like make, whoever the guy was making the money out of the machine, he was like, saying like, it's not gonna take anything away from the money that's already in the bank, if you're making more money, because the money, it doesn't even exist. It's not even real. You know what I mean? And I text my friend, I'm like, oh, we gotta watch the new season of Money Heist, comes back on this weekend. But yeah, that just made me think of it. I'm like, we have to use money as a tool. Sometimes I get in my bed, I'm like, how can I make this amount of money? Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, I just be trying to think about like, how can this money not appear, but like, how can I make this amount of money? Because at the end of the day, like, the money, they're printing the money from a machine,
Right.
and their control, or whoever is behind printing the money, is saying like, okay, these people can only have a certain amount of money. And then like the government be saying like, yeah, but you can only have this amount of money, and jobs will say like, we can only pay you this. But I'm like, the money is not even real. Like, it's not taking anything away from you if I have this certain amount of money. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's definitely like something that you have to master. Like, and I'm on this podcast because like I'm learning just like everybody else is learning. And once I figure out how to use money as a tool, I will share it with y'all. But like, money is a tool, and I know that it's a part of our energy and the energy that we put out in the world or manifest or whatever,
Right.
And I hear this a lot with celebrities. And this is one of the things that I want to work on, not even like this month or next month, but just the year and throughout my life, is just having joy, because I know that joy is something that is going to be permanent. And, even if I get the job, or if I get more freelance clients, like, am I still going to be happy, or am I still going to have joy in my life? Because a lot of celebrities, and not a lot, but there's a lot of celebrities that have committed suicide because they were just so freaking unhappy, but they had millions and millions of dollars, or they slip into depression, even if they have a bunch of money, you know what I mean? So do we really need the money, or do we want to do things that make us happy? And, like, why can't we like really walk in our passion, or pursue our passions and walk in our purpose? I was listening to Debbie Brown, one of my friends. She sent me the podcast called The Pressure of Finding Your Purpose. that was the title of the podcast. And I'm like, oh, this is right on time for me because like I be thinking, I thought that I knew what my purpose was, but after listening and, you know, like journaling after listening to the episode, I'm like, no, I really don't know what my purpose is. So my goal is to
Right now?
well, no, now I know after journaling. Like I wanna serve other people. I wanna help heal people. And what else did I write down? Because one of the things that she said was to chase the gift
Mm-hmm.
and not chase the money or the title. And I'm just like thinking about what am I good at? You know, and how can I help other people with what I'm good at? Like that's
Have you ever thought that you need to, I'm not saying you have to. Have you ever thought that you might make more money as a yoga instructor than as a marketing person? Only because that's what you like more on some level?
I haven't thought about it because I don't really want to teach in a studio. um, I haven't thought too far about the whole yoga. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't thought too far. I know that I want, you know, I want to use my yoga teacher training to help people in my community. Like that is really like the number one reason why I even decided to pursue it because when I first got into yoga, when I was first introduced to yoga, it was through one of my friends. And I wasn't really feeling it, you know, like I was really nauseous. And after I did it, it was just weird. Like I could not get into yoga. And this was years ago. And then I started doing yoga again about 3 years ago, 3 years ago. But I was reintroduced to it through this guy I was dating. We would go to hot yoga together. And like I remember, and I'm just so glad I ain't talking to him no more. But anyway, I remember like after the first class that I went to, the hot yoga class that I went to, I was like, I want to be a yoga instructor. But and then I told him, he was like, oh, you want to do all these different things or whatever. Cause I'm like, you know, I was still doing my podcast and whatever. I really didn't know what I wanted to do at the time, but I was like, I want to be a yoga instructor or whatever. And like, he was like, oh, you want to do all these different things and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I kind of just let it go. But I still did yoga on my own, whatever. And then I recently, you know, started getting more and more into yoga or whatever. And when I started the yoga teacher training, that's when I knew I was like, I want to give this tool to my community because we need this. Because, you know, if you look at the yoga community, it's 90%, 80% European women. And it's because they can afford to go to these expensive ass yoga studios. And, you know, they can afford that fee. And like people in our community, especially like in the inner city, a lot of people can't afford to go to spend $80 to $100 a month on a yoga studio, you know, because that's how much they charging.
I see you at the park.
You said what?
I said, I see you at the park. Like,
well, what if it's raining?
Like a
it's snowing. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I can't really hear you.
Oh, what are you saying? What if it rains?
Yeah, I'm saying like, and I'm not just saying for Texas. I'm just thinking about, you know, the whole U.S. Like every state in this country, you know, we can't be outside all 4 seasons. So, fortunately,
yeah.
You know, Texas, we may be able to be outside more often throughout the year than other states. So it's like, I'm not just for people in Texas. Like, I want to be able to give this gift to everybody because we need it. Like, these are tools, the things that you learn in the training and you learn in yoga are things that we need, you know, because like I didn't have this. I didn't have no yoga growing up, and I grew up in the inner city, you know, and I feel like that
Mhm.
would help me not get into as many fights, probably, you know, not steal because I used to steal in high school, like just
Mhm.
all these different things like that I was doing. And I'm like, this is what we need. So
Yeah. The only reason why I mentioned that and brought it up that way is because I truly believe that when people are talking about wanting to work for themselves or being entrepreneurs, that the easiest way to do it is by doing something that doesn't feel like work.
yeah,
And I was really afraid to come out and say, okay, well, I read charts or I'm interested in astrology, but that's what people are wanting. And
yeah,
that's what I enjoy. And that's what I'm naturally good at.
right.
So even though I just want to do strategy, the majority of people come to me because they want me to tell them about themselves.
Yeah. No,
You
that
know,
I haven't really, you know, put thought into like making money off of doing yoga like that. You know what I mean? I just knew that
yeah,
it was something that we needed. I do enjoy doing yoga and it's helped me a lot, you know, in my spiritual journey, like a lot. Okay. Not even like physically, but like, you know, it's helped me a lot. It's helped me to not curse a lot of people out. So everybody should be thankful that I'm proactive about my healing, okay? But
absolutely.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have
Yeah.
to do the training first, and then I don't know if my mind will change.
I don't know why. I do. It's like whenever I consider you and yoga, I see you outside with a group of people. And I'm not saying don't charge for it,
Yeah,
but like maybe $25 a class, like a drop-in class or something.
right.
Like where people know they can go. And even if you don't want to do it outside, if you say, I am teaching yoga in our community to individuals, there will be space for you.
Mhm.
Somebody will say, hey, I have a such and such that you guys can use on blah, blah, blah day.
Right.
Because, that's how it works. So I
Right.
don't know. I'm not trying to get all in your business, but I'll just be
Okay. I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna figure it out.
getting in people's business. I can't really help it.
It's okay. Do you think that passion and purpose is the same thing, or why or why not?
No, because I feel like my answer probably changed from the last time we talked about this.
Yeah.
Just in being in this space right now, I feel like your purpose is to enjoy your life,
Hmm.
to enjoy your experience, however it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, we spent so much time looking for our purpose as if it's a tangible item or if it's something we're to do, in regard to business or whatever. But I think our purpose here in our body is to enjoy our life and to experience all that this great universe has to offer us. And I think your passion is what you like, what turns you on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the intersection of passion and purpose is how you make money. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, is this thing that I really, really enjoy also aligned with something here that I can sell as a service or provide as a service to people or goods or something? And
Yeah.
that's how it kind of comes together and ends up blossoming into something.
Right. Okay. That's a good perspective because, you know, like I said from the podcast, she defined purpose as how you serve and how you serve other people and how you want to serve. And it doesn't always have to, you know, be serving other people. But I also think it has to do with like also how you serve God. And I think like, or the Most High. But I also think like listening to the Power of Now audiobook, you know, how you serve God is how you're serving yourself, pretty much.
Right.
At the end of the day, like that's one of the things that he said, like, when you build that relationship and that connection with God, like you're really building that connection in your relationship with yourself. And I'm noticing that a lot of people, not only myself, I haven't been to pole dancing because of this crazy schedule, but like a lot of people are tapping back into their inner child. And like that is where your gift really lies, And, I really enjoy dancing. Like that's what I did for the majority of my childhood up until my junior year of high school. Well, and I danced a little bit in college. I was on a dance team, and then eventually I was on a step team. But just tapping back into your inner child and just figuring out the things, and asking questions too. If you can't remember, ask your parents like what things you enjoyed as a child. One of the things my mother said to me, because I was like, we were talking about one of my younger cousins or whatever, and his schoolwork and stuff. And I was just like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, when you was younger, you really didn't like to sit down and read. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't like sitting down and reading as an adult. Like I would prefer listening to an audiobook. But she was like, yeah, you was always on the go. You was always out doing something in an activity or whatever. Like, and she put me in the activities, but
Right.
like you were not a child that was gonna sit and read or do math or do nerdy. Not saying no shade to people that do nerdy shit, but
we're offended.
I just wasn't that child. Like I like to do activities. Like I like to dance. I want to be in karate. I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to, I want to learn how to horseback ride. I want to do gymnastics. Like these.
I feel like we did all the same shit.
Yeah. I mean, most people didn't have the opportunity to do that.
I mean, supreme gratitude for being able to be exposed to all that, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like I know it wasn't cheap for my mother to put me in all that shit because dance costumes are not cheap. Like you're starting at $100 minimum on dance costumes. But anyway, so yeah, like I definitely feel like, after listening to that podcast and really like having the opportunity to go to this pole dancing class, I'm like, yeah, like I can really see, my purpose opening up more and my passions, and like pursuing my passions and my purpose more because when I go to the pole dancing class, I don't feel pressure, to like do anything and just be, and just have fun. And I'm just like, this is what I want to do all the time. I want to have fun.
Do they have like dance yoga?
I don't know if they have aerial yoga, which is like, I can't think of the silks that hang from the ceiling.
Oh, them little, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop strategizing on your work. I'm like,
yeah, so they have that. I haven't done it yet, but yeah. I don't know. I just know that I'm gonna continue going to this pole dancing class and with to have fun, but with also hopes that it will open up my heart and my mind to moving in the direction of pursuing my passion and my purpose and not having fear. Like being at the pole dancing class has allowed me to like really tap into myself, and tap into my divine feminine energy and like not really give a fuck about what other people are saying and doing or whatever, because when people see me doing it, they be like, I want to do that or whatever. And it's just like, I'm not doing it for other people to say anything, but it's just like, it feels good to like just do your thing and not have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
To worry. Like that's all I'm gonna say is like, your passion and your purpose, you should not have to worry. Like it
Mm-mm.
should not be a moment or experience of worrying and being fearful. Um for anybody that is listening, and that feels like, that pressure, like it should be a moment of ease, and it should be a moment of you feeling good about yourself and whatever it is that you're doing. um
So I wanted to tell you something I saw the other day, and I think it's interesting because to me, worry is a quote unquote sin because sin means error. Can you hear me?
yeah, you kind of delayed, but
Okay. Oh, okay. Ugh. Okay. So to me, a worry is a sin
hmm
because it keeps you farther away from your vibration, your manifestation from the vibration of love, which is to me is God, Christ, whatever.
yeah.
And this man said yoga was a portal for the devil. And he was so sincere about it. And I was like, but now you have instilled fear in everyone who likes yoga, everyone who likes anything outside of just what you said is okay. And that to me is sinning. So that's how it went down. And I was like, I don't like this shit. And I think I feel like I need to fuss about them for a little bit. Like, so I may go live later and fuss about it.
Oh,
I
okay. And
don't know.
I don't want to go on too much of a tangent with the yoga and the Christian community because they be pissing me off with that shit. Because, and like, I really do my best not to like um, be against or talk bad about Christianity, even though they don't practice what they preach a lot of the times. Anyway, because like, I don't know where I saw it, but when I was taking one of my yoga teacher classes or whatever, one of the teachers, the instructors, she was going to church. I don't know if she still goes, but she said that she was going to a Christian church. And when she was doing her training, they told her like it was a sin and stuff. And so I asked the question on Facebook, right? Which I should not have done, but like I be so frustrated with Christians. Um, and like they're like, yeah, it's demonic and blah blah blah, and you can't be worshiping. And I'm just like, do y'all read? Do y'all study anything outside of Christianity? Because if you did, you would know the truth about Christianity. And you don't.
Mm-mm.
You don't even
They
know,
don't want
you
to.
don't even understand what you're reading and what you're being taught in church. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's what I really want to say. And yeah, but anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
I want to leave y'all with a quote that Debbie Brown on Dropping Gems podcast. This is the pressure of finding your purpose. She said. So she said, purpose is not rooted in how much money you make. Purpose is rooted in the impact of your gifts and your authenticity being generously and effortlessly given away for the highest good of all. Um, and I want to leave y'all with that so that you don't feel pressure to make money. And this message is for myself too, because like I get caught up in the whole money making thing, how much money I'm gonna make so I can buy this and I can buy that. And like you said earlier, like that's our ego talking, our lower selves, our egos talking and telling us like, oh, we gotta have this, or we gotta do this, or we gotta look a certain way, or whatever. And just have fun with your passions and your purpose, and just know that it's going to come from a place of ease and peace and love. Do you have any tips on how people can pursue and follow their passions, and get their bills paid?
Um, so recognize that money is just energy.
Mm-hmm.
and that you can draw it to you. Um, you just have to be on the vibration of it. So, however that means to you. For me, it just means always find joy, like Zakia was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, additionally, like she also said, go back to childhood where you were enjoying life and having fun, because it's likely that your gift is there. I spent a lot of time as a child talking to myself, which is a lot of what I do now to come up with whatever I'm giving to people, because I am psychic. So my gifts come through I will clear audience, which means I will hear or see in vision. So I am, doing that. But for you, it might just be, like she said, dance or sports, or maybe you're good at writing. It's usually something that somebody told you was bad and stupid and you stopped doing it also.
Yep, that's a good point. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
the thing
So,
you said on the podcast too. Is like, adults when she was younger, they would make comments about the things that she was doing, and it made her feel some type of way, and so she stopped doing it. And it's like, no, fuck those people.
mhm. Right. Right. Like, my sister a couple weeks ago mentioned how nosy I was. And she said, you always used to know where everything was when people couldn't find it. And I'm like, it's not because I'm nosy. It's because I saw it and told you. But there y'all were telling me, oh, you're digging through everybody's stuff and you're knowing everything. And I'm like, so I felt like automatically that there was something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
And even now today I'm outside writing, trying to come to the root of why I am not doing all that I can do because of these roots, and it's wrong to be you.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you can really come to that and figure out what it was that you turned off in yourself in order to please others or to fit in or to be more liked or to be less seen, then that's usually where you find it.
Yeah, for sure. That's some great advice to give for your passion and your purpose. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time out to listen to this episode. Please subscribe and download the podcast, share the podcast, leave a review, let us know what you think. And yeah, we will talk to you guys later.